Today, I have decided to tell you a little bit more about what I do as a side job to conference interpreting. I work in courts and for the police for the city of Geneva. The work is really interesting because you are called at the last second to provide interpretation services for an English-speaking witness, suspect, victim, or complainant. The range of cases I have interpreted has varied widely. Sometimes you're called to the police station because there has been a mugging or because someone's wallet was stolen, which is very frequent in Geneva. It happens quite often here because there are a lot of very wealthy people here in Geneva who carry around a lot of valuable items such as iPads or iPhones and wads of cash in different currencies. Once you are summoned to the police station, you interpret the witness's statement, which is then written up in the police report. If the charges are serious enough, a prosecutor will decide whether or not to pursue the case. At the public prosecutor's office, criminal charges are heard, and the prosecutor can either decide to rule and sentence the accused or pass on the case to a higher authority. When I'm called to the police station, it is usually because either someone has been attacked, there has been a theft of some kind, or because they have caught an illegal immigrant. The cases involving illegal immigrants are, in my opinion, very controversial. Once an illegal immigrant has been caught, there are either two ways the case can go. If the person has documents on them, they can be sent back to either their country of origin or the host country where they have residency. If, however, they do not have papers and they have not committed a crime, they are usually released. If the police ask to see their documents, further on in time, they are then rearrested if they do not have such documents, some hours or days or months later. I personally find that there is definitely racial profiling taking place in Geneva, since most white people that speak French are never asked for ID. A lot of interns and people working for the UN are illegal, in fact, since they do not yet have Swiss permits or border permits, but none of them are ever arrested as far as I know. As I was saying before, if the police report warrants further investigation, the case is then sent to the public prosecutor's office. The cases handled there are much more varied. I have mostly had to interpret for drug dealers there, but I have also interpreted cases of domestic violence and incest, which were very difficult emotionally. I have also gone to divorce court and the court of first instances, where a drug case was heard because the amount of drugs confiscated was consequential. I really like working in court because there is a totally different atmosphere than working in a booth. You are in the middle of the action, and what you say matters. If you weren't there, the trial or deposition could not go ahead. It really is a very gratifying experience. Very luckily, in Geneva, the pay is also really good. We get paid around 100 francs an hour, which is the equivalent of about 80 euros an hour. Compared to the UK, that is about 8 times more per hour. During my master's in the UK, I worked part-time as a public service interpreter. The conditions were terrible, and I was paid £12 an hour. As with everything, though, in Switzerland, the expectations are high, and the lawyers, court clerks, as well as the client's demands are, in consequence, very high on the interpreter. There is a rating card for interpreters. Therefore, we get hired on a points basis. And in certain linguistic combinations, such as mine, French, English, English, French, almost everybody in the court is monitoring your output. There are many different courts you might be called to work in. I mentioned the court of first instances and divorce court, but there is also criminal court, civil court, the court of arbitration, the court for minors, or the industrial relations tribunal, just to name a few. I would personally love to be involved in high finance cases, jewelry store thefts, or bank robbery cases, since those are a specialty of Switzerland, and I think it would be quite lucrative to become a specialist in those domains, and also because they're quite exciting compared to drug cases. I don't know how the system of public service interpreting works here in Spain, but I would be very interested in hearing what you had to say about it.